Hello. Right, after my last video I just heard you all shouting, just write down your topic. So I've written it for myself, so it's easier for me to stay on track. Being misunderstood, being misrepresented. Okay, if you see me glancing away, I'm looking at my bad writing. When I was largely non-verbal, which is the majority of my life so far, up until about 6 years ago, at which point, since I've been gradually building up the skills to the level that I have now with speaking. I obviously had a big problem with not being able to represent myself because there was no way of communicating and expressing myself. Now that piece of paper is distracting me because it's there. Right, focus. So I've often had issues with being misrepresented. Like, for example, somebody misinterpreting something that I've said or done or not said or done and putting it down to bad character or bad intentions or carelessness, thoughtlessness, all kind of terrible things that you wouldn't want to be thought of that way. And then not being able to explain myself out of those situations, which now I can speak, and I've been through some really bad experiences the last 3 years, which have shown me that it's not actually a question of whether I could speak, because now I could speak. During that time I was getting the ability to speak, but I still could not get fair treatment in some circumstances, even though I could speak. And even when I could speak well, according to some people's feedback to me, and express myself very effectively, it made zero improvement to the treatment that I received. Okay, so being misunderstood, if you have my personality type, I'm sure I'm quite typical of a lot of people, which is that I just hate the idea of being misunderstood. And for example, someone thinking that I meant to harm them when I was trying to actually help them, or that I meant to be rude to them when I was trying to be kind to them. And these kind of things happen to me so often that I just want to cry straight away. So I think there's a lot of it which just relates to feeling ostracised from a family or from society when we can't feel accepted because of the way that we can't express ourselves in a way that seems appropriate to others around us. Being misrepresented is really tough. So if it gets to a point where someone else is saying something negative, this has happened so many times, something negative about me, who I am, what I've done, what I've not done, what my intentions are, behind my back or to somebody else, and then it affects your actual life opportunities and what support you might be able to receive and what compassion you can receive from people, because it's easier for others who are in a position to decide what help you might need that you're asking for. It seems to be easier for them to just think of reasons that you don't really need it. With dyspraxia, we tend to be really hard workers. So with a lot of my issues that I have with disabilities, there are things that I can't do, and I still try and do them. And then I'll still try and do them again and again for years and years. And I'll try different ways, and I'll think outside the box, and I'll try and find resources, and I'll try and cope. But it's a struggle trying to survive. It's not we're asking for help. When we have these kind of conditions and we need support, it's not that we're asking for help because we had a bit of a struggle and then we asked for help. And probably, if it's something like my situation, we got way beyond the point of no, there's nothing else I can do here. And even at that point, I'm thankful, because dyspraxia seems to come with a lot of determination. It's typical, and a lot of kind of like stability and persistence. We need it because we have to keep on trying, and we have to just try harder than people who don't have dyspraxia. It takes us a lot more work. We're hardworking. That's what I was going for. So it can look from the outside to somebody that, oh yeah, they're doing really well. They've got this sorted. They've got that sorted. They seem to be okay. They're always smiling when I see them. It's so easy to be dismissed when you have high support needs, and then people don't really have the availability to help you. They would rather flip it and criticise you to protect their own feeling about not being able to help you or not being available to help you. And as a dyspraxic, as I've talked about this topic before, which is that not for all of us, I'm not trying to represent all of us, but for me, I can't lie as such. So when I say something, if I'm saying I need help, it's because I need help. It's just a literal thing. It's not really like a grey area. And if someone says, or even if it's unsaid, so let's say a system like social services, it's supposed to help people with support needs, okay? So you've said I've got support needs, you're supposed to help me. That's an unspoken promise. There's no grey area. They need to support. But so then what they do is, if they don't want to do that support for some reason, financial or other, moral, they would rather flip it to say, she doesn't need help. I've seen her this, that and the other, and then lies will be told. And it's extremely dangerous for us living in this kind of society. This is the first time I've touched on this topic in any of my videos, but it's known amongst our communities online that things are not really getting better for us. So I want to be one of the voices to just speak up, and if you've been in the positions that I've been in, I know I haven't explicitly said what my problems have been. You've been discriminated against and ostracised and misrepresented and not been able to turn the tables. It's a power struggle. You're not alone. I've been through it too. And I feel a bit like all my community of dyspraxics and autistics and all the umbrella that I need to look up who else is in this umbrella underneath with me. We're like the underclass. I don't know if that's the right word, but I feel like we're kind of this rising underclass. We are being truthful and we are good people on the whole. And some of us have risen to great heights in our personal life and society. It is possible. It's been hard for us, but we can share with each other and realise that we're not so alone. Thanks.